Hello and welcome to the first official episode of Molla the Scholar. Let's get straight into it. Have you ever had an intrusive thought? For example, you could be minding your business 1 minute and then the next, all of a sudden, the craziest thoughts or image would pop into your mind and leave you feeling a bit awkward, confused, and maybe even disturbed. These thoughts vary in nature. They could be mild, such as one of you doing something really embarrassing or even socially unacceptable in public, such as farting really loudly with your earphones in, or even screaming out loud during 1 minute silence. Or they could be really extreme and even taboo, such as you stabbing a loved one, jumping out of a moving car, and even pushing someone off of a train platform. No matter how random, strange, or perturbing these intrusive thoughts can be, one thing is for certain, you are not alone in experiencing them. So why do these intrusive thoughts pop into your mind? Why do they keep resurfacing every time you try to suppress them? Why do they pop up at the most inappropriate moments? And most importantly, how do you prevent them from taking over your mind? So let's delve deep into your dark intrusive thoughts and find out how they work. So an intrusive thought is a thought, image, or idea which enters the mind involuntarily, causing disruption and annoyance through being unwelcome. These tend to be really uncomfortable, unpleasant, and even upsetting in some cases. And in some cases, it may cause the person thinking them to be afraid of actually committing the acts. Although thinking these acts is not normal, or in some cases even legal, thinking these intrusive thoughts or having these intrusive thoughts are surprisingly normal. These can come to anyone at any given moment, at any given time, especially in moments of high stress or high anxiety. Sometimes the reason why we have intrusive thoughts is because they are the complete opposite of what we would ever want to do. So, to put it simply, they are the worst possible things we can imagine ourselves doing, and we think them because we don't want to do them. That might seem a little bit confusing. So picture this. You are driving, there's heavy traffic, and all of a sudden you get the intrusive thought that you swerve into oncoming traffic and you cause a massive collision. These intrusive thoughts can enter your mind in that moment because it's very inappropriate and it's the worst thing you can imagine yourself doing. So it's a scary thought. Also because it's something you don't want to happen, so you think it to actively avoid it. And thirdly, it's also because it's something that could possibly happen if you're not focusing on the road ahead. So you think it in order to increase your focus. As a reaction to that now, you try to suppress this thought from trying to resurface. However, the irony of this is that the more you try to suppress this thought, the more you end up thinking the thought. And this is called the ironic process theory. Such an irony is usually created or even worsened by stress, and intrusive thoughts are basically an extreme case of this. This is perfectly demonstrated in the white bear effect, where being told not to think about a white bear actually leads to you thinking more about a white bear. Now try not to think about the white bear. Active suppression of thoughts leads to the thought coming back with full force because you've spent so much time focused on it. It's like trying to keep an air-filled balloon down in a pool of water. It just keeps coming back with full force. And yes, you can quote me on that analogy. In certain disorders, such as anxiety, depression, ADHD, and some body dysmorphic disorders, negative intrusive thoughts can cause a significant amount of stress on a person's life and can also affect their daily or typical mental functioning. In disorders such as OCD, these stress or anxiety-inducing thoughts can manifest themselves in the way of compulsive behaviours. Maybe the intrusive thought of catching a deadly or dangerous virus could lead to a fear or an irrational fear of germs. A way in which to control this fear now would be by excessively washing your hands, for example, or excessively cleaning, to the point of impairing yourself from carrying out your daily life tasks. Intrusive thoughts are also associated with PTSD, eating disorders, or even psychosis. So now, I bet you're wondering, how do I cope with these or manage these? Well, I am by no means an expert, disclaimer. But here is my comprehensive guide, taken from my own daily habits or even from experts and from useful psychological resources. Number 1, distracting yourself by talking out loud about any random subject. This will disrupt the rehearsal loop of the intrusive thoughts. Number 2, try not to engage with these thoughts. Do not entertain them. Label them as intrusive and know, understand and believe that these are not what you truly believe or think, nor are they what you stand for as a person. Number 3, positive affirmations, my personal favourite. If the intrusive thought is of a negative nature, counteract it with a positive affirmation about yourself. I personally like to look in the mirror and tell myself that I am awesome, I am great. Back when I was at uni, I would look in the mirror and tell myself, I will finish uni, uni will not finish me. One that's more rooted in my faith as well is I like to tell myself I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And last but not least, number 4, cognitive behavioural therapy. This is particularly good for positively rewiring OCD related thoughts or negative related thoughts as well. This can be very effective and usually consists of mindfulness, meditation, and quite a bit of self-help as well. CBT has been proven to be very effective and appropriate in many a case. So regarding this, speak to your local healthcare provider and they can give you more information. So whether your intrusive thoughts are weird or really scary, so long as there is no intent to act on these thoughts and they don't bring you any pleasure, then you're absolutely fine and there's nothing to worry about. It's what you do with these thoughts that impacts your character. If you're interested in finding out more about intrusive thoughts, then I'll leave some recommended reading and some references at the end of this video. If you are like me and you're a bit of a nerd, I would also recommend reading links to other theories in other disciplines or across other disciplines, such as the Streisand effect, labeling, and the self-fulfilling prophecy. They will blow your mind, honestly. So don't forget to like, to comment, to share and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can see future videos. Bye.